had Zoom, you had Big Blue Marble, you had Via Alegre, arguably one of the best and first Spanish children's educational shows. You had Reading Rainbow. You had a variety of shows that not only were entertaining, but they helped in the development of children and some adults as well. I mean, just because, let's say you were already a grown adult, you don't need to be ashamed in the sense of not watching Schoolhouse Rock, because we all could stand to learn something. And that's the honest truth. But educational programming, unfortunately, seemed to have fallen by the wayside. I'm not sure if it was due to, I don't want to just say, the changing times. I'm not sure it was due more to monetary issues where maybe they weren't being funded. I can't call it. But, again, in terms of development, we need to bring all that educational programming back. We've gotten away from that. And that also provides a challenge to today's educators in the classroom. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot more issues than, let's say, children not learning at home. Way more issues. It's deeper than that. Bullying is also one of the biggest issues that today's youth has to deal with. But focusing on education, focusing on, to this day, even though we do use it, ain't a word, okay? Those who know what I'm talking about. Focusing on 2, 2, and 2, there, and there. Focusing on proper word usage. That's what we've gotten away from, and that's what we need to get back to. Now, mind you, I was out of grade school many moons ago, so I don't really know for certain what children are learning today. But while I'm not knocking, to me, nursery school stuff, such as the wheels on the bus go round and round. I'm not trying to infuriate any moms here. But while it's cute, my thing is, what, if anything, is that teaching? Versus, again, when you think of educational programming such as Sesame Street and the Electric Company, you learned something. They were teaching tools. While New York is different from Chicago, while Chicago is different from Los Angeles, and I could go on and on, it's one thing when we all learn the basics, because then we can all relate. But if you don't learn the basics, it's very hard to relate to anything and anyone. Let's take that a notch further. What if, let's take that a notch further in the sense of math. I feel as long as you know basic math, multiplication, addition, subtraction, and division, you shouldn't have too many problems, in terms of how you're going to do what you need to do. From paying bills to, maybe making purchases. And we'll keep it as simplistic as that. It's great to know algebra. It's great to know trigonometry. It's great to know calculus. It's great to know geometry. But those particular mathematical equations you don't necessarily need in life. Let's take that a step further still. You don't need, this is not to discourage anyone, okay? Let me make that clear. You don't need a degree to make money. It's, don't get me wrong, it's great to have a bachelorate, a master's, of course a doctorate, which is a totally different level. And I'll even throw associates in there. But while many industries make it a requirement for you to have a degree, do you need it to earn a living? If you're a bricklayer, if you're a bus, or even if you're an Uber driver, many of us, and I don't know how accurate that is nowadays, we have grandparents or maybe great-grands, and some of us, even our parents, who only had a 5th or 6th grade education. And you know what? They weren't on public assistance. They were out there earning a living, making money. What they did is kind of irrelevant, but they were out there doing it. You have a talent or skill, then I'll say mold it, shape it, put it out there. Do you necessarily need a degree in communications to be an actor? Nah. To be an actor, do you need to go to acting school? Well, it helps if you know some things. But how many people in the industry have formal training? Percentage-wise, I don't know what the number is. But the fact is, if you can take direction, okay, 3, 2, 1, action. The north wind doth blow, etc., etc. In other words, if you can take direction and make it believable, then formal training is not necessarily necessary. Looks good on a resume. But, again, when it comes to education, you basically can get away with knowing your basics. Because I'm going to do a podcast also on education, itself. And I hope to get Kimara Knight in on this podcast when I do have it. The fact is, you can earn a living. They say fake it till you make it, but you can earn a living if you have the basics of what you need to know. There's a lot of things we learn in school or have learned in school that we don't use in life right now. There's no need to go into specifics. But as a generalization, okay, home economics, right? And I'm going to specifically pick on home economics. A lot of us, we learn to cook, seriously, at the age of 5, 6, 7, just from watching mom and dad cook. They have, I forget the name of the show right now, but one of the cooking shows is, children cooking. And they'll tell you, oh, I've been doing this since age, yeah, okay, you're embellishing. However, reading comprehension, let's take it back to education. If you can read and understand directions, because when it comes to cooking, if it says season to taste, then what's the problem? A lot of us, a lot of women, unfortunately, some men too, first thing out their mouth is, well, I can't cook. Well, I don't know how to cook. You know how to boil water, correct? You know how to turn the stove on, correct? Whether it's gas or electric. The problem is, you try to cook like your mom did, or maybe even your father. And you know what? They've been throwing down for decades. Even I'll say, I can't cook like my mom. God bless her heart. I'm a good cook, but can I cook like her? No. And I have a sister who is a pretty good cook. My brother, I'm not picking on him. I'm not picking on him or his wife. Shout out to family. They both went to Johnson & Wales. Let me just tilt and say, if they were going to open up their own restaurant or their own catering hall, Johnson & Wales pretty much would have made sense. And again, I'm not bashing my brother or his wife, but you don't need to go to culinary school to learn how to cook. Some people say, yeah, but pastries and give me a break. You know what? You start off in your own kitchen, you experiment, you're going to have some failures, but again, unless you plan to open up your own restaurant, do you really need to spend all that money at a culinary school? And then, sad to say, like a lot of us college graduates, he's not even cooking. I mean, hey, you could have put that money towards the house, bruh. But nonetheless, you know, I'm going to end the podcast on a high note and say, you know, we just need to learn how to speak better, speak proper, and relate. And that's what it boils down to. Pick up that dictionary. Pick up that thesaurus. Watch educational programming. And that includes CNN. Hey, you're going to stand to learn something. This is Devil Tongue. Thank you for listening. And I hope to give you another podcast sooner than later. Have a great one.